Shout out to all of my H Town people. I've been praying for y'all. Lord knows I've been praying for myself. Ooh, if that storm, Hurricane Barrel, did not test your patience, I don't know what did. Being in a house with no heat, I'm sorry, with no air, with kids with no internet, no TV, just themselves, it will test your patience. Jesus got called on a lot during that week, but I'm so glad that we are all here, that we all made it. I was happy for the first time in a long time to actually go into work because it had air conditioning. That's how bad it was. But thanks everybody who was praying for me. We survived. We made it. God base just showed me more of who I am and what I'm capable of, and the patience. God really worked on my patience, and I can say I did a good job. I did a good job. Kids with no internet, baby. We had to go back to those old school games, hopscotch, tag, Mother May I. Like, we had to go back. No internet for like 5 days. So yeah, yeah, we put out all the good stuff. Anyway, I hope you all are doing well. Tonight, as you can see, we're going to talk a little bit about your friends and your partner, your spouse, your husband, your wife. Can you mix the two? I mean, have you ever wondered if you should sacrifice your friends for your boyfriend or your spouse? Let's sit and talk about this hot topic. And I want to share with you some of my marriage wisdom. And what actually got me to thinking about this was this post that I found on, y'all can tell where I tend to go on the neighborhood talk. The post reads, one of my closest friends stopped talking to me after she got married because she felt like we were in different places. I'm single, and I reached out to tell her I'm leaving the city in a week and asked if we could get lunch, and she left me on red. Hmm, interesting. She helped me get away from my abusive ex. I bought her diamond earrings as a wedding gift. Ooh, wish somebody would have bought me some wedding earrings. Then she disappeared shortly after that, and I haven't seen her since. I reached out a few times and she hasn't replied back. Okay, first of all, let's let's say we don't have the other side of the story. And there's always actually three sides. One from each person and then the truth. But just looking at this from a high level, it seems that there's a lot going on in that relationship. But what really disturbed me was in the comments section, there were multiple people saying that, yeah, it was her man that took her away from you, or I hate it when the men make you stop being friends with people. And I thought, it's not quite like that. It's like quite the opposite. And so I was like, I felt for the young lady who the married young lady because her side's not being told. But I also understand from the friend side that she felt like out there. And I know, is it necessary is the question for us to sacrifice our friendships from our spouse. Now, let's not try to dig into the she was there for me, when I was in an abusive relationship, I gave her diamond earrings. That right there lets me know they had a really truly good friendship. But I think the heart of it all is, do we sacrifice our friends for our spouse? Now, a lot of people say prioritizing your spouse over friends shows that you're in a healthy marriage. And other people argue that keeping close friendships is crucial for your mental and emotional well being. I absolutely agree with both statements. But the question is, where do you draw the line? We have all been there. We meet somebody special, we fall head over heels, and then suddenly our social circle starts to shift. We spend more time with our spouse, our partner, our boo, and then we spend less time with our friends. It's at first, all butterflies and romance, oh, my boo, I miss you. I couldn't go to sleep without thinking about you, blah, 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 blah. Kind of miss that. But then you might begin to miss your friends and then start feeling kind of guilty. Like, am I losing a part of myself because I'm spending more time with him and less with my friends? You start to question, you start asking yourself, what's going on? Like, you feel guilty, anxious, maybe even resentment towards your partner. Am I being selfish for wanting to keep my friendship? I mean, is any of this sounding familiar to y'all? Is it normal to feel like I'm losing my identity because I'm spending so much time with my spouse? I know that was some of the questions that I had. And all the meanwhile, you're going through these emotions, your partner may be feeling left out. He may be even threatened by your close relationships. You're spending more time with them than me. And not saying that it always does, but it can lead to jealousy, insecurity. Then you got tensions in the relationship. And it almost makes you feel as if you have to choose between your friends and my spouse. But do you really have to choose one or the other? I don't know. Let me know. Have you ever struggled with balancing friendships and relationships? How did your friendships change after you were in a relationship? I uh, I don't know. Let me know. Maybe I'm the only one that's dealing with this. Um Shout out to everybody who is on Instagram. I love you guys. What's good? Um but I think one of the things we need to actually sit down and talk about are some of the changes. Like, there's different seasons in relationships. And some of the common changes that occur once in our friendships, once we have established a long term relationship or even marriage, is a lot of our life priorities and responsibilities change. Marriage comes with a lot of new priorities and responsibilities that can easily change how we manage our time and our energy with people who we call our friends. Now that you're married or you're in a long term relationship, you got to manage a household now. You have to spend time with your spouse. And that may even look like you're planning for the future, planning for a wedding, planning for a baby. You're also going to be in different life stages. And what I mean by that is your friends might be living their best life as a single person, while you, as the married person, is focusing on maybe children, focusing on, more family driven things, life. Your friend who's living their best life is focused on career, personal pursuits, whatever that might be, travel. And because you are in those different stages of life, and not one is better than the other, but there is always going to be a natural drift because you are both in two separate places in your life, different seasons in your life. So it's bound to change. It's bound to be different. And I think a lot of people are confusing these different stages with, oh, she thinks she's better because she got a man, or she thinks she's better because she, got her a new hubby. No. Shout out to Alakiana. She says, I feel like you have to have a balance. You have to have the time for your spouse, your family time, your friends, and definitely yourself. Lock, I do a horrible job at that. I'm still working on that. I'm working on it. She also says you will never meet the needs of everyone every month, but if you're attempting to do so, that's all that matters. Man, that's facts. Like the fact that you're trying, that's big. A lot of people won't even try. I mean, you have to identify that there is a need for improvement. And a lot of people don't even acknowledge that. And another thing that you need to consider too is that there are different emotional and social dynamics that you have to consider. So, when I mean emotional needs and supports might shift once you're married or in a long term relationship. For example, when you used to go to your girlfriend because, Katie at work tried you, you're now relying on emotional support from your spouse instead of your homegirl. And your homegirl might get a little offended by that, but that's just natural when it comes to being with your long term spouse. Another change is social circles. Married people tend to hang out with other married people. They start socializing more with married couples or engaged couples or long-term couples. Like you and your spouse, your boo, go to a comedy show. You're typically going to go with other couples. You don't tend to engage in activities that might not interest single friends, like going out to dinner with your spouse. Your friend is not going to want to hang out and be the third wheel. Now, before I continue on, I have to mention to make sure I got it in the comments section as well as the description to check out Lather and More. They are a black owned company that sells soaps, lotions, perfumes. I love their soaps. I use them all the time. I really, for the adults out there, love their Yanni soap. And when you get a chance, go ahead, check them out. Great products. They are also a local Houston owned company as well. Check them out, see what they got. I love their soaps and their lotions. Excellent, excellent, hands down. But continuing on, communication and misunderstanding. So this this kind of hits hard for me because I'm kind of in a similar situation where, and it's similar to the young lady. She said, the girl just stopped talking to her. Unspoken expectations can lead to misunderstandings and feelings of neglect. And in my similar situation, I chose not to say anything to a friend and just became quiet and held my tongue because I was so upset that I did not want to say the wrong thing. And when I felt like I could get to the point of saying something, the opportunity was missed. It was gone. And so what ends up happening is this friend who's expecting a certain level of interaction with me is not getting that and doesn't know why. And it leads to a lot of misunderstanding. Now, in this young lady's situation, you know, the married friend assumes, I'm sorry, the single friend assumes that she's not talking to her because she's now married, which could have been part of the reason, just because her life has shifted. But it sounds like in this case, there's a lot more backstory to it. It sounds like there was a lot of energy that was given on the married friend's part. And maybe she didn't want that energy anymore. Maybe she was tired of that energy. So, lesson learned, you got to keep an open line of communication, especially when you are trying to maintain friendships. What does that mean? Maybe y'all need to schedule regular catch ups. Maybe you need to express your feelings honestly to prevent resentment. So, we talked about reasons why friendships look different once you're married. Now we gotta ask, what's the secret? Like, give me the secret sauce. So, what's your wisdom? How do you maintain this healthy relationship with both your partner and your friend? Like Lakiana said, a lot of it is balance. A lot of it is, and you're gonna have to put in the energy. You're gonna have to put in the energy to be what is the word that I'm looking at? To be diligent, to be, you want to make sure you take the time to set aside specific time to catch up with your friend. That might look like weekly coffee dates. Or in my case, I can't do it weekly because between my friends' schedules and my schedule, it's chaotic. And with the kids, our husbands, so we try to get together for monthly dinners. But of course, we're always constantly checking in with each other on um, the phone every day, if not every other day. And we make it a point, like Lakiana said, to balance the time with our friends, with our spouse, with our kids, and most importantly, with ourselves. You've heard me say before, when you get on that plane and they said that air mask falls down, you are to put yours on first before you can help anybody else. I am slowly starting to learn that. And a lot of times, time for myself includes me catching up with my girlfriends. So I'm killing two birds with one stone because I feel so free and liberated, and just we have a good time. We don't, you know, tense up and just we just love on each other. And it's just a really good feeling to be able to have that balance, to be able to sit with my friends and laugh at just silly stuff, to be able to come home and feel refreshed. Tell me, I mean, have you guys experienced this? Do you have any tips for maintaining healthy relationships? Another key thing is that you need, when you are involving your friends in this new aspect of married life or a long term relationship, you need to encourage them to get involved, because maybe they don't feel, they feel like a third wheel, they don't feel like they're a part of it. So there are simple ways that you can get them involved in your new life, your new married life. One, invite them over for dinner. We used to do Sunday dinners, and it would be my family, and we would just invite friends over from time to time, and they come over and hang out with us, hang out with the kids, and they still be involved with the family. Other family events, we would have them come and hang out. Christmas, Thanksgiving. Um, hey, as a family, we're going to see Despicable Me, you know? Come meet us at the movies. Encourage them to hang out with you and your spouse and your family. Let them feel loved. You also need to help them understand, as well as yourself, that they're going to have to adapt. You're going to have to adapt. There's a need for both you and them to adapt and understand that these are the new circumstances. We 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 ought to be flexible in our plans, as I indicated. Now, with my friends, we set dates and we turn around and have to reschedule like 3 4 times because, oh, our child got sick, or oh, our husband got sick, or oh, our husband had to go work late and not able to come home to be with the kids. All kinds of stuff occurs. And so both parties have to understand that we've got to be flexible. We got to be patient because life is life, and it's going to continue. It's never going to not life. And because of that, all kinds of things are going to come your way. So you've got to be flexible. You got to have patience. But in the end, it's about finding a balance that works for you and your partner, whatever that might look like. And remember, a healthy marriage, long term relationship is built on communication, trust, and ladies, mutual respect. Don't shy away from the tough conversations that you might need to have with your friends and be honest with them and work together to create a relationship that's going to nourish both of you. That's all I've really got to say. I think it probably was a lot, but that topic was kind of on my heart because I had been there before. I know what it feels like when you feel like your friend who just recently got married kind of left you. That's not how it works. That's not what they did, or that their man, made them stay at home so they can't hang out with you. No, no, not at all. Hopefully you got something from this live stream tonight. For those of you who are watching the replay, let me know you're watching the replay. You can find me on all social media platforms at Texas Brown Sugar. I will see everyone later. I'm super excited to get back in the swing of things. School's getting ready to start. I'm so not ready for that quite yet because I got a middle schooler on my hands. Um, but I wish everybody the best. Have a very blessed week. And I will definitely see y'all. Y'all gonna catch me next week. Make sure you come in, sit in, have a discussion with me, pop in, comment, pop out, whatever you got to do. I love y'all. Be blessed. Bye.